Good morning, class. Welcome to our third session of our programming subject. The lesson that we will be discussing today would be setting up your development environment. So, previously in our lesson yesterday, we have discussed how relevant programming is in our current IT-centric world, the basics in programming, as well as why do we have to learn programming, so on and so forth. Today, you will be learning the different development environments and why we are using Android Studio for developing apps for the Android. So currently in your screen, you can see that there is a phone there that is connected to the computer currently. I will uh, it is there for me to display the program that we will be outputting later on in Android Studio. So I want you to open your Android Studio. Ano yung Android Studio? Yan. So I want you to open Android Studio. We will be demonstrating uh, how to create your own application. So yung mga nagsisimula pa dyan, usually yung makikita nila, create a new project. Usually, what they will see here is there is a couple of buttons there. Export or import a new project, create a new project. I would like you to click create a new project. For those who are already seeing this kind of screen, you can just go ahead, file, new, then new project. Sa yung mga wala pa, again, new project lang muna. New project. Then you will see this project template for you to choose from kung ano yung gusto nyong gagawin. Anybody following me? So yung mga hindi nakakasunod or those who can't follow, kindly type it in the chat or say it now. Sa mga di pa nakakasunod, yung mga may problem dyan. You, hindi nyo makita in full screen. Let me, wait, let me see. Teka lang. Ano lang, prepare. Ayan, kita na. Kindly confirm na lang kung nakikita nyo na. Let me... So, ayan. Okay, thank you for informing me beforehand, ha. So, again, from our first, from our first instruction, again, if you don't see this screen in your Android Studio, it's okay. Just choose create new project. Sa ganito na yung screen, again, file, then new project. If you can see this kind of screen, then just choose new project. Then you will see this project template screen. From the project template screen, we will be choosing empty activity. Empty activity, then click next. Everybody following me? Okay. Kung hindi kayo nakakasunod, type nyo na lang. So here, you will be presented with choices kung ano yung mga itatype natin. May project name, the package name. You don't have the except for the Android, sir, even though I installed. Kindly go to the start, then just type Android Studio. It should appear there. Usually it is installed in C, then Programs, then Android Studio. So you can browse it directly if you need to. For me, it is installed in a custom location. So it might not coincide with yours. Let me check. So this is the installation path of the Android Studio. It is on C, Program Files, Android, Android Studio, bin, then Studio64.exe. So going back to our lesson, for our lesson today, this is our first program. So when we want this to be somewhat iconic. So I want you to create your own name for your own app because we will be creating our own design for this later on. So it's up to us what the name of our project is. So if you want to name my first project, then it's up to you. My first project. First project. If you notice, along with the name, the package name changes. Um, just to confirm here, the package name should have mcm.edu.ph. So again, just type it manually mcm.edu.ph dot my first project or whatever the name of your project is. So whenever you type your project name, idadagdag niya. If you are having problems, kindly type it in chat or interrupt me freely. Then, for the save location, it's up to you where you want to save your project. If you have a custom folder location in which you are going to keep the projects, it's okay. Then, most importantly, the language should be Java. Then, the minimum SDK for us for this lesson and most of the lessons would be 26 or Oreo. So Oreo is the operating system, the minimum operating system that we will be using for our project. So it is being discussed here in our lesson. I will be discussing what is included in our module here, but later on, pero we will save it for later because we will be focusing uh, on our first project muna. So, again, it will display you how many users are currently running in this program. So, it shows you the viability of the program that you are creating. For example, if you want to make sure that every Android user can make use of the phone, then you can lower the level of your SDK. For example, let's go to 23, it will increase. So it means your app will run approximately in 84.9. So if you want to make sure your phone runs at uh for most of the phones, even though it's very old or archaic, then you can lower the SDK. But for now, I want you to have the minimum of API level 26. API level 26 is released on 2017. So lowering the API level means getting older. The operating system gets older. So the other level, the lower level than this is API level 25, which is Nougat is released in 2015. So medyo luma na 'yan. I don't want you to create programs for phones that uh, we're not even sure if it still exists. Unless you are giving your old phones to other people. Yes, you have a question, Duke? So you want marshmallow. O sige, you may go for marshmallow if you are going to use marshmallow for our our program. So depende yan sa phone nyo ha. Depende yan sa gagamitin yung sample phone. Next is just click finish. Hindi nyo na to kailangang i-click tong legacy. Make sure that the language is Java ha. Currently, the Android supports two languages, Java and Kotlin. Kotlin is used by ano, mostly by programmers who specialize in Android. So, we will not be specializing ourselves in Android. Rather, we want to focus on learning Java to broaden our perspective. So, click finish. So, you will be shown this screen. Sa screen na to, kasali yung hindi pa kasali yung paano ko siya ira-run yung phone. I will be orienting you on how to make your phone run using the app. So, wait, let me exit the previous window. So, you will be presented with this screen. So, we will run through this, including the modules later. So, you have two open tabs here in our editor screen. The one is for the layouts in which you can modify what is being shown on the screen. And one is the coding part. We will not touch the coding part yet. Maybe later, mamaya siguro, pero for now, we will just be discussing what we can see in the screen. So, as you might have noticed here in the toolbar, hindi pa hindi nyo pa nakikita kung anong gagamitin nyo. Hindi pa kasali yung phone. So for now, if you are going to use your phone, I encourage you to connect your phones to your computers using a USB device. Make sure that the USB cord that you are using allows for data transmission. Halimbawa, yan yung cord na ginagamit nyo pag nag-upload kayo ng pictures through phone. So use that cord now to connect your phone to your computer or to connect your phone to your computer using that cord. So if you don't have any phone, you don't have a phone with you, you can use an emulator. So here in this big drop down menu, just click the arrow down. Then there is an AVD manager. Kindly click AVD manager. It allows you to create your own phone in the computer. It is running an emulator. Ito para to sa mga walang sariling phones ha. But I do not encourage using emulator because it will slow down your computer by a significant margin. So if you have a Android phone, we will be installing it using Android phone. If you have any questions, again, I encourage you to type in chat or interrupt me by raising your hand. So, we will start with setting up our emulator. We will start by, wait, may nag-PM. We will start by uh, creating our own emulated phone. So if you have a dream phone na parang feeling mo di mo maabot, you can create your own dream phone here if you have a custom spec. So let's create our virtual device. So click create virtual device, then choose phone. So there are several specifications of phones that we can choose from. So for example, if you are going for Nexus 5X, it has it has its own specifications. May resolution and there is a pixel density. So, it's up to you what phone you are going to choose. But make sure that phone is parang realistic yung yung specs. For example, I'm going to choose uh, ito mga ganito na resolution 1080p 1920 by 1080p. So I will choose pero may mas matataas na resolution. It's up to you actually. So now I'll just settle for Pixel 2. So, I'm going to click Pixel 2, then click Next. After clicking Next, then you are going to choose the API level of our simulated na phone. So, again, I will go for Oreo, which is API level 26. Again, tignan nyo, may dalawang klase ng Oreo. Meron tayong higher level na Oreo, which is an update of the 8.0. So, ito, 8.1 na to. So, API level 27. We will just choose API level 26. So, after this, then next. Then, we can set what the orientation is. It could be portrait or landscape. Let's just click next. Maybe meron siyang advanced option. So, I don't think, ito. Important to ha. If you are currently suffering in RAM deficiency, you can set how much RAM your phone will use. Yung emulator nyo. Halimbawa, you only have 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can set it that your phone will only use 1 gigabyte of RAM. Just type 1024 here or something. So, ito, 1536 MB, which means whenever you use the emulator, it will take up 1536 megabytes of RAM and 2048 megabytes of storage space. So, take note of that ha, kasi kakain talaga siya ng RAM. So, make sure you manage how much RAM and disk storage your emulated device will be. That's why I do not advise using an emulator kasi gagamit siya ng resources ng computer. Naka-open pa yung Android Studio nyo, naka-open pa yung emulator nyo, babagal. So I only recommend this for computers with RAM more than 8 gigabytes para hindi masyadong mabagal yung computer. So, then we will click finish. So you will notice here we now have a RAM or rather a phone that uses 1 gigabyte. Ganun lang. So if we're going to test a program using our emulator, just click the device that we are going to use. So click the Pixel 2, then click run. Then the emulated phone will run. So ayan, naglo-load na siya. Starting AVD, it means the AVD is the emulator of the phone. So ayan, ano na siya, get faster, faster, never show again. So ayan. So this is the emulated phone. This is the option for those who don't have phones. Medyo napapansin nyo, naglalag na siya konti. And it loads really slow. So just bear with me. So ano yung makikita natin supposedly in our empty app? So while we are waiting, let's try running this on another phone. Maybe in the phone here in the side, which is an actual phone. So click Huawei, then click run. So ayan. Dito ko na lang siya i-display sa actual na phone ko. So when we click run using our actual phone, gag-guide ko kayo ano yung paano yung installation naman sa actual phone. So, ayan, my first project, hello world. So, yan palang makikita natin in our first project. We will be editing this later. Later, I know you will be excited with the features here. So, saan siya makikita? So, ito, 'di ba, na-exit na natin sa phone. Pero installed niyan sa phone. Ayan, meron na siya, my first project. It is installed on your phone via an APK. You can just uninstall it later at a later date kung tapos na kayong gamitin 'to. Pero it's up to you actually to if you are going to delete it, or you can use the Android Studio to delete it. So, sa phone naman tayo. Ayun, naglalag pa rin yung phone kasi maliit yung RAM na binigay ko. So, let's try re-executing it using the phone. Ayan. So, ito siya magdi-display sa emulator. It's up to you if you're going to use emulator. So, sir, how are we going to use, or how are we going to install using a phone? Kung may phone kami, sir, gusto namin gamitin yung phone namin. Actually, have written a comprehensive guide here in our module kung paano i-install using our phone. So, first, kakabit muna natin ang phone sa ating computer. So make sure it is connected and it is being recognized by your computer. So ito, kung makikita nyo sa side, meron siyang devices dito. So make sure nakikita siya. Kung hindi nyo nakikita, it means hindi installed sa computer nyo yung driver ng phone nyo. Usually, nasa website yan ng phone. For example, Oppo or Vivo. Punta lang kayo doon, mayroon yang USB drivers. Or may lalabas na ganito na parang installer. So next is, we will have to access our phone in developer mode. So go to the settings of your phone. Settings, you can just type settings. Yan, settings. So go to the settings of your phone, then locate your you can locate your settings about phone. Dito yan sa about phone eh. Kung saan mag-a-appear yung serial number dapat. So go to the about phone and just tap the build number until lalabas yung you are now a developer. So I want you to try that out if you are going to use it. Christian, do you have a question? Christian Joseph, you are raising your hand. Do you have a question? Okay, na-raise lang siguro. So, now, dito na tayo sa phone. Paano natin i-enable yung developer mode? So, just tap build number until lalabas yung developer mode. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it takes 5 taps. Pero kasi enabled na to siya. So, ayan, lalabas you are already a developer. So, I want you to enable the developer mode of your phone. So, again, for Koji na recently lang. So, for new project, gagawa ka ng Koji, ito. Empty activity, then next, then pangalanan mong my first project, then finish. Make sure this is on Java ha. Java yung language, then API level 26. Again, Java language, API level 26, my first project. So, empty lang. So, again, dito balik tayo sa phone. So, build number, click lang natin hanggang maging developer mode. Then, go back. Makikita mo na yung settings about developer mode somewhere. You can maybe, kung may search bar yung settings niyo, type nyo na lang developer mode. So yeah, developer options, or you can browse it here sa systems and updates. May developer option tayo dyan. Kung may problems kayo regarding sa phone nyo, you can just ask me. You can ask me here sa chat. You can raise your hand. Yes, Bea. May question ka, Bea? If you have any questions, you can type um, you can type in the chat. Sir, I don't think it will kill your laptop per se. It might just slow down a bit, pero di naman siguro magki-kill. Depende yan sa RAM, kung ilan RAM yung ano. Bea, what's your phone? Actually, ito may madalang method para makapag developer mode eh. You can just simply go to Google and search your model. For example, yan, A3s enable developer mode. Meron tayong madaming guides diyan. Ayan, lalabas kagad yung guide para i-enable yung developer mode. So ayan, i-search natin A10s. A10s developer mode. So ayan, meron tayong guide. May guide kagad na lalabas kung i-google lang natin yung ano. So if you are having troubles, Google is our friend. You can just follow the instructions here. Ayan, software information then build number. Sige nga, sino pa yung may questions dyan? Bea, did I clarify your question? Or, ito merong website na nagpapakita paano i-developer mode yung mga phone nila. So, sige, after enabling developer mode, pag isasaksak nyo yung computer nyo, may lalabas na warning sa phone nyo. May lalabas na parang message sa phone. So, kindly accept. May checkbox na lalabas. I-accept nyo yun. Sa akin kasi, teka lang, i-reset ko na lang sa akin para makikita nyo. Developer. Kindly. Ano yun? SBD ba? Revoke. Ayan. I-revoke ko muna. Para then, i-reconnect ko yung phone ko para makita nyo. Ayan. Ayan. Tinanggal ko muna yung phone para makita nyo naman. So, may lalabas sa phone nyo. Allow USB debugging. So, i-allow nyo yun May lalabas sa phone nyo na allowed USB debugging. Di ko tuloy Tapos, this computer's RSA key fingerprint is blah blah blah. Then, may checkbox na lalabas. Always allow from this computer. I-click nyo na lang yun. Allow always from this computer. Meron, sir, how to run the emulator again? Teka lang, i-re-enable ko lang tong. Oops. So, for Ali, here, to create your own emulator, just go in this big box here with a drop down, then AVD Manager. After clicking AVD Manager, create a virtual device, then just choose a phone. Then click next. Then next. Then manage the RAM usage and show advanced settings. There is a RAM usage here. Just tinker with the settings on how much RAM it is going to use on your computer. Then click finish. After clicking finish, a phone will show up here in the setting available devices. So then you can use that available device to run your program. So now that we are done with wait, but ayaw. So now that we are done with uh setting up our phone, we will now try to modify our first application. Yes, merong nag-raise ng hand. Yes, what's your question? Yes, Erica? May question si Erica? Ay, okay. Sige, kung may questions kayo, kindly raise your hand. So here, going back to our lesson now, there are two tabs open. Activity main.xml and main activity.java. So before we go through the things that I have written in our module, we will first create our own application muna. So we can first modify the message here. Kita nyo, di ba, may hello world siya na nakasulat. What if we can edit it out? So let's go to the activity main.xml, then maybe choose split. It means it will show you both the code and the design. So click split. So you can just minimize this thing here. So ayan, naka-split screen na siya, meaning you can modify it and code it at the same time. So, sir, ba't may nakasulat na hello world? You can modify it according to your wants. So, go to the left side after clicking the split screen option. Go to the text view here. There is a string called Android text. There's a string here called hello world. Let's edit this out according to what we want. For example, my name is Kevin and this is my first app. So ayan. So nag-appear siya dito sa application natin. So I want you to create your own app, even your own message. So, sir, gusto kong mag-design, gusto kong mag-experiment, gusto kong matry kung ano yung pwede kong i-decide using Android Studio. So, simple lang yan. Click the palette here. Then, it will show you the options. For example, gusto nyo may background picture. Then, you can use image view. Or if you have your own picture, you may use your own picture. Just drag. Drag and drop lang to dito. Drag. Then, you can use any pictures that you want. For example, background scenic. O yan, may background siya dito that we can use. Then, you can use that as a background. Diba? So, may picture na tayo. Sige, if you want to modify it according to your wants, then do so. So, sir, napansin ko, sir, ba't may red? Everything that has a red color means it is having an error. So, ang error natin this time, ayan o, merong nakasulat, ayan o, error. This view is not constrained. So for now, kung gusto nating mag-add ng pictures, for example, ito, may maliit tayo na picture dito. Kita nyo yung may mga dots dito? This connotates the X and Y axis of the picture. Kung ano yung position niya sa picture natin. So for example, we will just bind ito, to the top. Meaning, connected siya sa taas. Kung mag-a-adjust yung size sa taas, then it the size will adjust as well. So ito, ayusin ko lang yung ano. Ayan. For example, may picture dito. Ayan ha. Click this dot, then drag it to the top. Ganun lang. So ayan, may picture. Then you may redrag it again. Then ito na namang sa side. Left or right, it's up to you. So bind the left one to the left side. It means wala ng error. Kita nyo wala ng error ang image view. Then drag it again to the middle. Sir, ba't yung text view walang ganyan? Because it is already constrained. Kita nyo may mga lines na siya dyan. Sir, I want to preview my application, the one that I created. So just click run. So for example, I will run this in my phone. Let's run it in my phone. Click run. So after loading, makikita nyo, ayan. Sir, ba't walang display? Sana yun? Akala ko ba may picture? So, it means that the picture is not there. So, you may add the picture. So, halimbawa, gusto natin ng sarili nating picture. Go back to the project tab. Ito, may project dito sa tab. Na tab dito sa left side. We will now learn the hierarchies of the folders here. So, let's start with here, ha? Ito muna. Manifests. Manifest contains the settings of the project. So, i-click lang natin tong Android Manifest. Usually, hindi natin to minomodify. For our first project, hindi natin to minomodify. Pero halimbawa, gusto nating maglagay ng sarili nating icon. You can do so here. Gusto nating full screen kagad yung application natin. It is in here. Settings to ng app sa pag-launch niya. For example din sir, gusto mo rin na may splash screen siya, parang may loading screen siya, nandito rin yan sa Android Manifest. So usually, manifest file contains the settings. Then, the Java folder. Java folder contains the code, the source code. Source code meaning lahat ng mga tinype mo na code, lahat ng mga nagpapagana sa program, nandyan sa source code or sa Java. So, dito natin hanapin sa mcm.edu.myfirstproject yung ating app. So, usually main activity yan siya. So, tapos na tayo sa Java. Then, itong mga generated, usually hindi natin yan ginagalaw. So, we will ignore the generated parts. Let's go to res. Res meaning resources. Resources folder contains every asset that our application uses. Databases, sound files, art, pictures, animations, nandyan lahat sa resources file. So, for example, gusto nating mag-add ng picture. May picture tayo na gusto nating i-add. Let me drag this out. So, gusto nating may picture tayo ng picture natin kasi proud tayo kasi uh, app natin yan. Gusto natin gumawa ng picture natin, di ba? So, I want you to choose your picture. Baka may ano kayo dyan, picture kayo dyan na gusto nyong gamitin for your app. So, I want you to choose your picture. It's up to you. Kung may questions nyo kayo ha, kasi madaming nagre-raise hands na accidentally. Gusto kong i-type nyo na lang sa chat kung may question kayo. Nagbabasa ako ng chat. So, i-type nyo na lang. For example, ito, may picture ako ni Roque. Idadrag ko na lang yung picture ni Roque dito sa drawable. Ayan ha. We will add the picture of Roque here in drawable. Drawable meaning all the image assets that we are going to use for our application. Diyan natin ilalagay sa drawable. So after adding the picture of Roque here, then click refactor. So ayan, may picture na tayo ni Roque dyan. So how are we going to add the picture of Roque in our project? So click again the image view. You can modify the image view to contain the image of your want instead. So let's try removing this instead and put it back. Then choose Roque. So ayan, meron na tayong Roque. So si Harry Roque, then okay. So may picture na tayo ni Roque. So ito again, X is to X, then Y is to Y. Ating i-connect siya sa sides. Ito. Yung mga dots lang i-connect natin. Then, i-redrag natin sa center. So, ayan. Centered na siya. Tignan natin dito. Ayan, centered na. So, let's try running our application again. Hopefully, gagana na to. So, ayan. This is our first project. So, I want you to create your own project depending on you. So, try nyo gumawa ng applications nyo. I want to see your own projects. So, sir, paano namin to isasubmit sa iyo? So, dito na tayo sa GitHub. So, how are we going to submit this using GitHub? Easy lang yan, ha? So, first, nakakasabay pa kayo? I'm just asking muna. Bako ako go forward. Nakakasabay pa kayo? Baka may hindi pa may tanong pa, ha? If you have any questions, type na sa chat before I move forward. Questions? I see. Nag-download pa yung API. It's okay. I will be uploading this video on YouTube later, ha? Akala ko ba naka-download na kayo ng Android Studio? SDK error. Pixelated ang stream. So, medyo mabagal siguro yung net mo this time. I will just be uploading this in, ha? How about you, Bea? Nakakasabay ka pa ba? Yung, yung phone mo, okay na yun sa'yo? Sige daw, yung inyo. Sino dyan yung mga nakasabay? So, fine na kayo if I go forward? Unsaon pag-display? Kindly elaborate daw your question. Unsaon siya pagpakita sa phone? Dapat mo appear diri imong phone. Dapat naa diri sa running devices ang imong phone. So first, connect your phone to your computer, then your computer will ask ning gawa sa imong phone ganiha na nag-ingon siya na will you allow this computer? Na siya ingon, will you allow this computer? Na siya usually mag-appear na, will you allow this computer to connect via ADB? Pero first, dapat naka-enable ang USB debugging, ha? Nato siya checkbox, then allow. Then after allowing it, mugawas na siya dire. Dapat naa siya dire sa my computer para mo appear. Naa siya dire. ang imong phone para makita siya. So, as you can see, the phone is in the devices and drives. Or naa siya sa ano, no? So, sige, if you have any questions, you can personally come to Discord, no? Para ato na siyang masettle ang inyong mga questions. I'm free for any consultation there at Discord. Now, let's go back to here. So, after running, you can exit the program here, stop app. So, dito na ta sa pagsubmit ani using GitHub. So, in the toolbar, in the menu bar, click VCS. So, click VCS. So, after clicking VCS, import into version control. Make sure naka-install na ang Git, ha? I reminded you yesterday to install Git. So, install Git. Ang Git is git.scm. So, after installing Git, dapat naka-install tong Git, ha? After installing Git, tapos na. So, after installing Git, then VCS, import share project into GitHub. Usually, ipalagin sa imuha ang imuhang GitHub dire. Ipalagin sa imuha. So, if you're having problems in connecting your GitHub to your account, then ask me here, ha? Ask me in Discord. So, after connecting your first project, the share project on GitHub. Again, I will go back VCS, import into version control, share your project into GitHub. Usually, ipalagin mo sa imong GitHub diri na imo gawas na login panel diri sa GitHub. Then, the name of the repository, then share. Invalid repository name. So, usually walay spaces. Okay. Ato na lang siya ilisan og underscores. So, my first project. So, share. So, after sharing, initial commit, then add. Next lang na siya. So, naga-loading na siya, pushing to GitHub master. So, successful na daw. So, let's see if naanagid ba siya sa GitHub. So, again, let's go to GitHub. GitHub. So, after going to GitHub, usually nanana siya dire sa ato ang profile. So, go to your profile and repositories. So, nana, my first project updated 26 seconds ago. So, ingon ana lang na siya pag upload sa inyong project. Makita na dahil na nako siya automatically. So, ingon anita pag mag-submit og project, ha. Usually, ang pangayoon lang nako sa Blackboard is paper outputs and quizzes. Dili nako pangayoon ang project files diri directly sa Blackboard. Any questions? Sige daw, basig na mo'y questions. Wala? Sige, i-run through na lang nato tong module 2 lesson nato, no? Sir, unsa akong email na ibutang sa GitHub, sir? It's up to you what email you are going to use. Pwede ninyo gamiton ang GitHub, pwede mo gamiton inyong Gmail, it's up to you. Personal man ninyo. So, now, ato na ning balikan. We will just be running through the lesson content here. So, dire sa baba or here in our lesson, we have discussed integrated development environments. IDE or integrated development environments are applications that offer programmers facilities for developing software. Most commonly, these include software development, creating, debugging, compiling, running the code. So if we go back in Android Studio, it includes creating. So how do we create something in uh, Android Studio? We have already tried creating a new project, right? New project. We can also create new files here. For example, just right click here. For example, I will create a new Java. So new Java, or even a picture, new file. So it means you can actually create. Debugging. For example, you have something wrong in your code. For example, you accidentally type something. So it will show the error, right? This means this counts as a bug now. So debugging simply means it can display you if you have any errors or bugs in your program. So, satisfied yung debugging. Compiling. So, the compiling process happens during the loading time. So, ayan, compiling yan siya. Then, running. So, meron tayong run. Nag-run na yung program natin. So, it definitely ticks all the boxes for what satisfies us an integrated development environment. So, first example is Eclipse. This is one of the first considerations that I have for creating this module now. But it is way too simple and might be becoming very difficult eventually. So I opted for Android Studio. So Eclipse is mostly what is being used in other schools in teaching basic Java. Next is NetBeans. This is one of the most archaic IDEs. This is one that I have learned from 10 years before. And it still is being used up to this date. Ito mismo, ginawa to mismo ng uh, ano no, Apache, the company that handles Java for creating IDEs. Then, IntelliJ IDEA. This is the IDE in which Android Studio is being based. So as you can see, it has the familiar layout of the Android Studio. Then lastly, what we are using right now is Android Studio. If you notice, they look alike because it is basically the same program. So there are guides here in how to install Android Studio. If you look at it in our Module 1 Lesson 2, there are guides on how to install. So this one is actually just there to make the emulator a bit faster. So for Intel, usually it says Intel HAXM hypervisor. For Ryzen, it will show up as Android emulator hypervisor driver for AMD. So next, so this is the screen that you are being shown from, diba? So you can create a new project, open existing project, get from version control, so on and so forth. So this is the OS version and the API levels. So one of the oldest API levels that is currently still being used is Jelly Bean, which existed 2014 pa. Now we are natapos na yung the confectionery naming scheme nila by Pi. So they are instead going for the letter instead. So kasi ito, letter naming to eh. JKLMNOP. Hindi yan based sa food. Wala na siguro silang maisip na confectionery using the Q letter. So they instead use the Q, then R. So if an OS is going to be released in this year, it might be named S.
So it depends on them, no? So QRS, so, as you can see, this is the naming scheme of Android. So here, you are being shown the parts. So this one is what we call the navigation bar. Ito yan siya. So navigation bar can be clicked kung saan yung kung saan yung hierarchy niya sa file location. Then, the next one would be the editor view, kung saan tayo nag-e-edit. Then, the tool windows, I think I already said this earlier, no? Then, ito, I think I've already explained this as well earlier, except for the build.gradle. Build.gradle contains the settings of your application as well on how the IDE is going to run it. So, meron tayong dalawang build.gradle dito. Meron tayong build.gradle for module, meron tayong build.gradle for project. What's the difference between the two build.gradles? So, ito build.gradle for project scope means that it is running for the whole project. Ito yung setting niya for the whole project. Build.gradle for app means it runs depending on the app because each package may contain two or more apps. Meron tayong mga ganyan na klase na interconnected na applications na kahit isang project lang yan, kahit isang APK lang yan, madami yung isasabay-sabay niya na install na programs. Yan ang nangyayari sa mga Trojan na nasa phone, mga virus na nasa phone. Usually, isang APK lang pero multiple na applications ang i-install sa phone nyo. So this is for this purpose.